everybody, this is Frogman. Welcome back to Engineer's Life 2. We've been kind of busy doing a bunch of stuff, I guess, in the last several episodes, and it's, I guess, kind of time to start spending a little bit more time back in the base. So we did a little bit of redstoning over at the farms last episode, as well as doing a little bit of exploration in the end, and we did a little bit more. I'm going to kind of carry that stuff on in the, or I should say the exploration as far as outside stuff. We're going to be doing that on our own time unless I find something really cool to kind of hang out with. So I have been kind of busy in between episodes getting a few things sorted out so that we can kind of, get caught up on stuff. And some of it is just to try to make sure that we have a little bit of leftover resources, and some of it is just to make sure that things are getting done. So one of the things that I did find that I'm very glad to know about now is that the factory hoppers that we get from Engineers Decor have this ability that I really, we had to kind of fight with a little bit when we were last trying to automate these crushers. Because a crusher takes a certain amount of time to process a piece of material, and if I can get up on here without picking up everything, I don't think I can. We're going to have to, let's do this, put that back over here, and you guys are just on that. Let's just do this. Crushers take about 2 seconds generally to process the material that they're working on, and if you can kind of time the input of the material you're putting into the crusher, then you can kind of just make sure that the crusher never backstuffs, which is really kind of nice, because what that means is I can shut this, say like if I had to make a specific specific type of thing to crush in this crusher, all I'd have to do is shut this engine, this little hopper off, and wait for the thing to finish its cycle, and then I can put something into the crusher and do whatever I need to do. So that's a pretty fancy little dude, and we're going to be utilizing that fairly soon, actually, because I think we're going to start worrying about actually building base and building factory at this point, because we've gotten to the point where I'm kind of happy with things. So basically what this is doing now, it's running for about 2 seconds, and it's usually it's a little less than 2 seconds, I do believe. But that way we don't back stuff it. That way we just have things. Now we're making a mess all over the place because this little thing is not fast enough to keep up with the rest of the system, but that's okay. For right now, all we're doing is just trying to build a few resources. So I'll just waste that piece of gold. Who cares? Or wait, coal, whatever you want to call it. So I have done a little bit of other goofing around. Since we got the ender chest, I went ahead and filled it with a couple of things. So we're going to start building out a kind of a workbox like we do in other packs, or at least the way that I tend to work things. So got a few of these shulker boxes set up, ready to go with some materials that we need occasionally. And that'll just kind of help me be able to build a few things as we go. So until we can get the remote control for this thing, the crafting remote control that I want, I'm just going to kind of carry around boxes. I think we're just going to kind of carry things around and do some stuff that way. So it looks like it's about ready to start getting dark again. Yes, maybe. So let's go see about taking a nap, and then we can go see about some of the other fun stuff that I've been doing outside. Alrighty then, so we've had a bunch of, you notice we're making materials over there, and we're making materials over there because of the fact that I've done some work. So we're still having problems burning wires, and that was a really bad one. That I can't figure out what's going on. I don't understand what's going on, and we shouldn't be burning wires. There's nothing over here that is, capable of drawing that much power to burn this section of wires, but it continuously burns the wires. So we'll just, I'm going to have to come up with some kind of something. What I may end up doing is I may end up playing with the configuration again, like I said in, I think, last episode before. We're going to have to figure out how to get that stopped, because, again, there's nothing over in that building that is causing that much draw to be able to pop that. And that one up there, that excavator up on top of the hill, there's nothing over there that would cause that to pull enough, draw to pop that wire. So anyhow, we're going to kind of look at a few things. I finally got around to being bored enough to actually start building a few buildings around some of these little structures that we're going to have. So you guys are going to kind of get an idea of what we're going to be doing in the rest of this area. So I went ahead and built a kind of a little structure around the generators, and I kind of made a little spot for the fuel tank, and I built this little building around the fuel production area and kind of hung some stuff up around in it and did a few other little things. I was doing a little bit of reading, and if I really felt like it, we could automate the introduction of materials into this machine and this machine using the redstone wire that we got and conveyor belts, and if I really felt like it, and get rid of the simple storage network that's over here if we really wanted to. I think for right now we're going to leave it alone, but I did go ahead and kind of decorate a little bit more. We're going to start trying to flesh out what I want the base to look like. So every area is going to get a building. Everything is going to be kind of set up how we want it. I did do a little bit of rearranging over here and built a little bit of structures in. And these had finally filled up enough that I decided we needed to start adding a little bit of storage. And for what it's worth, it's producing a decent amount of usable material, considering that we're pretty much getting this stuff is pretty much coming in here for free, so we might as well be using it. It does work, and it does, kind of things. Something like this, eventually what we're going to do is we're going to probably have like a minecart loader system over here that will load up a minecart with all of this stuff and then send the cart off to a central location, probably over in the main base, where we can then deliver. We can just, store this, so we're not having it all over the place. Certain things like the seeds and the potatoes and that kind of stuff right here, we'll store those right there because that's where they're going to be used. And for that matter, what I may end up doing over here is we may end up changing how the storage works for this. That's actually not keeping up anymore. That's good. I wanted to see it run through some things. But we may change the way the storage works over here as well, so that we can kind of continue to make things work. I've got to do some cleaning over here, and of course the frames are terrible because those fertilizers. I don't understand why that would cause such a frame reduction, but I guess it is what it is. Instantly trying to grow plants out. It's a choice I made. We could have done garden closures. I decided not to, so we're going to worry about it later. Over here, behind here, there used to be one of those corrupted or broken nether portals right here. I went ahead and tore it down, cleaned it up, kind of surfaced the area with some grass, and we are now mining. There we go. That's the snap that I love. We're now mining the iron and the copper out of this deposit. So this deposit is actually centered out. Whoops. Crap. I forgot that was over here. Let me go get my stuff. Well, that was fun. Dummy. I guess I get... Yeah, it's just the way things work. What I was going to point out is that the center of the... There it goes. The center of the deposit is centered vertically underneath the middle of the bucket wheel there, so that if we need things, I have got to remember that. I haven't died too much to those, but that's the first time I walked right straight into one of those, mainly because of the fact, hey, that's quite a bit of RF just jumping right into yourself right there. We could theoretically get rid of that, but I'm not planning on being over here. I do have it shut off right now because I don't need too much more, and like I said, I don't want to forget this is running while we're here. So part of what we're going to have to start talking about is the logistics that it's going to take to move things from, say, this excavator and that excavator into a building where we're going to pretty much take care of everything. We're going to be processing all of our ores and running it through furnaces and all that kind of stuff, and then delivering it into something else. So we're going to have to kind of build a system around that. And the other thing that's right here is this one has an oil reservoir, and I can get there without getting dead, I think. So crude oil reservoir, there was 6,000 buckets of oil sitting in this one. So 6,000 buckets here. My question, and something that we're going to have to start looking at, I suppose, is how far away I can be from this reservoir and still be able to go. Because I think looking at, and I don't know where I put it, it's in one of my boxes. It's in my backpack, actually. This right here. The thing with these mineral survey tools, and maybe there's a crude oil survey dealy, but if I go like this, it's going to tell me that there is a caliperite, whatever vein 6 or 7 blocks away. Yeah, it's right over there. That's what this thing is. But it doesn't tell me that there's a crude oil thing there. Maybe there's something in the Immersive Engineering book we can look at. But we're going to have to start looking at things like that. We're going to have to start building oil properties and oil processing pump jack. Maybe there's a thing that'll tell me how to find it. Coker fluid reservoirs, specially designed machine. We know when mining, you've occasionally noticed the black, slick, flammable substance oil. Oil is just one of those fluids that can be found underneath the impenetrable rock. We'd be able to breach these reserves with your thing. Core sample drill will determine whether a reservoir can be found in a specific chunk and gives insight into the size of the fluid deposit. Oh. So is this still the old way? Okay, so that might still be the old way of finding things instead of doing this. So the reason why I'm saying that is because one of those other ones over there where we're going to start looking at doing probably steel production fairly soon also has oil in it. So we're going to have to start looking at that. But let's go ahead and look at our quest book, and I don't want to be in here. We need to start looking at becoming engineer, and we need to start working out this direction. So again, arc furnace, this is going to unlock the uranium and the power, as well as the ability to do things and stuff with the refined storage network system. On this direction, a pump jack will allow us to get to this kind of stuff and be able to produce a liquid fuel kind of things. Why is this not checked out yet? This should have checked out. We built that at least once, but who knows? I'll have to do that again. I don't know what's wrong. Maybe, hang on before you get too excited. Before you get too excited, it's not working because you haven't done this one yet, which is stupid because I'm probably never going to need to make 64 copper plates. So that's kind of one of those things. So that may never get crossed off because there's no point in wasting 64 copper plates. Anyhow, or at least the copper to make the copper plates. And so we have this guy here. We have a few other things going on. I think what I want to kind of do for the rest of today, or I should say, hey, I'm not even done yet. But anyhow, we did a little bit more work, I should say, over here. Taking care of some of this mess. Our storage system for the bees section was getting a little overrun, mainly with the bottles. So what I did is I went ahead and modified the way this is going to work. I put in an item filter in here, an item router that will then be able to sort stuff. So it's going to send all of these parts into the storage system behind that storage controller, and it will send the honey bottles up. So what happens now is the liquid honey goes into this honey generator, and the bottles go into this honey generator, which theoretically, I guess at this point, I could probably just deliver them both into there. I was just wanting to make sure. I had a lot of bottles. I like lots and lots and lots of bottles of honey, and I really got to be careful. Once again, I will get zapped if I get anywhere near those. But those are at least now taking care of the excess stuff because of the fact we had quite a bit of excess leftover materials. So I guess for now, let's take a nap and then we can continue on. I know this has been kind of a long blah, 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 blah. I've been busy. Okay, so that's all I've done pretty much. I think we've caught up everything in between episodes. I just kind of felt like building, and I kind of felt like doing a few things. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to start building into the second story of the main base, at least for one of the things that we need to be looking at, which is going to be finally time, I think, at this point, to build an arc furnace. So we're short about most of this kind of stuff. We need a cauldron, a bunch of steel scaffolding, and a bunch of things. I want to go ahead and get this going so that we can start building some of the other materials that we need to be able to do some stuff. So let's play arc furnace today, and hopefully not blow up every single wire that comes into the building. So what we're going to do actually at this point is the upstairs is not finished. Most of this was just built using a building gadget and just blasting bricks down so that we can get things going. I do want to get at least one arc furnace rolling, which means we need to make the first major problem, which is the rods. Which I think, if we're not too terribly careful, we're going to get graphite electrodes. I'm going to go have to buy that, I believe. Once again, going to have to go find an engineer and purchase that from them. So that means we're going to make, what is that going to be? 12 hot graphite ingots, which I think we should have most of what we need as far as coal coke to be done, basically. So let's go ahead and run most of this, and then I will get back with you guys once those are ready to go. I forget how many it is, actually. How many is it per for thing? Hop graphite, hop, it's 8. Yeah. Lovely. So that's going to be, we may have to run a little bit more stuff. No, I think I got plenty. So I'm going to toss all those in the machine, and give me all these, please. And you can have all this, and we can wait on that to process. Alrighty, we need to go borrow our tool over here. And did we pop the wires again? This is getting ridiculous. It's expensive and stupid, and every time I reload, like say, you take a nap, you walk away from it, you do something, there is nothing over here in that building. Unless we just have a really corrupted chunk right there, which if that's the case, I'm definitely quitting, because I'm not building that building over again. Whatever, we'll figure it out. It's really odd to me because literally that whole building has a capacitor sitting right there in the corner, and it is regulating all of the power going into that building, period, into that building, using a single MV connector, I believe. Everything is being regulated off of a single MV connector over there. So there's no way there's any kind of, well, even that, for that, the input on that is only 4,000 RF a tick. That's it. I don't understand why. So whatever, we need to come over here. And every time it does that, it makes me think it popped. So I don't know, whatever. Oh, some days. Let's go over here. We need to borrow our squeezer so that we can make some of this stuff. And I think if I want to, what I want to do here is I'm going to say no, and then I'm just going to take this out, and then it can make those. And it should be able to just process that without it. I mean, it's one of those things you can kind of just do. We need to go ahead and make a few of these, and then cook them, and then hopefully we'll have enough to be able to do the work. So I made too many. Generally, I always make too many. I always make at least that many too many. So let's go ahead and put those in there, and then remind this it needs to do that. Remind this it needs to do that, and then do this and that. Cool. So those will catch up and go back to work. And run back over here so that we can start building the other parts pieces that we need for this thing. So I think we should have a reasonable amount of steel plates. I'm going to go ahead and put some in anyway. Stack should be sufficient, but there should already be a bit in the inventories of things and stuff that we have. So let's see what we're going to need. These are going to need to get cooked. So we're just going to go ahead and have those get cooked in there while we wait, and then we run those through the press mold over there, and it should be fine. Or the press mold, the bar mold, whatever you want to call it. Okay, so hit your bucket. We need to do this. We need 10 light engineering blocks, a bunch of reinforced blast brick, which I'm going to borrow from this one over here. Thank you. We'll just worry about this. I'm going to end up putting this back, so just so that works that way. We'll go ahead and break these because I know there's stuff in them. But we will be going ahead and putting that one back eventually. Actually, I think probably next episode what we're going to be working on is actual steel production building so that we can actually make a lot of steel when we need it. So we need to go ahead and say we need a bunch of sheet metal, we need a bunch of steel blocks, we need a bunch of this kind of stuff. I probably don't have any of this chilling at this point. Let's get a cauldron. One of those. And you want light engineering blocks? We probably don't have any of those, do we? Boy, spell and or type, please. Can I craft any more of those? I have one of those, one of these, so I'm going to have to go through and craft all of this fun stuff. How much do we have? I need some more of these. So, okay, I got a whole bunch of stuff to craft. Once again, we'll be back when we get this crafted. Okay. Okay, so let's do one more thing really quickly, and that's going to be we're going to need to regulate the power again. So I want an HV battery capacitor thing. So I want one more of those. And we're going to sink that into the ceiling upstairs again so that we can kind of run this. Upstairs is going to be just a couple of extra machines that we're going to do some more things. So let's go ahead and go it. But we should have everything we need to go except, and this is going to be except the thing, the hop graphite ingots. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. We do these. We run these guys through the, I think it's this one. No, where is it? This one? This one. Go. That's going to give us half use. Oh, yeah, that's right. This is not going to work because that thing can't do that. Those will give us about half use electrodes for right now. Again, I'm going to have to go hunt down the villagers that will give us that stuff. So it's just going to be another day to do things. But there's 40,000 durability on those. We should be good enough to do for quite a while. That's quite a bit of durability. I like this durability meter. It's kind of nice. So that should have got us, if I remember to push the right button, please, all of this stuff to go with this. So I go gimme. Thank you. And you can cook that nickel grit. This is going to be some concrete. Superfood bar. How I make. Is this just fish, flour, superfood powder? Oh. Yeah, nah. That'll be another one of those thank you very much. We'll eat it one time and that'll be the end of it. So very cool. Whatever. Let's put this junk away and go upstairs and build a what is this thing called? I actually want to keep that on me because I need it. Well, let's go build an alloy smelter. So I did a very long time ago actually build a elevator for this system, and these are actually really simple, easy blocks. I always kind of like these kinds of elevators. They're kind of fun. Elevator control are pretty simple, not a whole lot of stuff, just an observer and some pistons and things and stuff. You can have a display that will let you go up and down, and of course a remote. So what this is, I believe, this should be an elevator controller, and then there is an elevator controller. You can either do this or you can do the remotes, and basically all that's going to do is just go up and down and up and down and up and down. What's neat about it is if you press the one in the middle, which I can't do because I'm up there, down here, that button in the middle will bring the elevator to the platform. But basically all you do is you just set it down and we'll hit the button and push it down. Dang it. Get back on it. Let's hit it from the side really quick before we get to building. All it does is it counts whatever block is under and in front of it and moves all of those style of blocks up or down. So it's pretty simple. And I think if I do that, it'll call the elevator from any level to that point. They don't need any kind of interconnection. All they need to do is be vertically stacked above themselves. So arc furnace. Arc furnace, for now, our use is going to live in this corner. So we're going to build it right here somewhere. No, I don't want that one. I want this. Can I have the selection mode? Thank you. Arc furnace. Get it, go. I know it's about time, seriously, for us to be getting one of these. So scroll. I know it's really kind of hard to see what it looks like, but all I'm really looking for is that redstone block and a little bit of room behind it. Now, this one is going to require a couple of blocks behind because we're going to need to be able to get to it. And I want a couple of blocks on the side again in case we need to get to it. So bang. And we're going to put you up here and put everything on our bar we know we're going to need. So that should be everybody except the cauldron. Man, you want to talk about just barely being able to see that. Yeah? All right, so it should be mostly down here, all of these guys. So a little bit of flat slabbages. And the cauldron goes right there. These, I think, are steel blocks. And then scaffolding. No, it's this. How did I not make enough of that? Give me a second. Oh, I know why I didn't make enough of it. I had enough made of it, and then it pulled it out of my inventory when it crafted all of those things. So sheet, metal, there we go. That should be enough, I think. Sheet metal, sheet metal, sheet metal, sheet metal, sheet metal, and that is one of those. There should be none of those on this level. The one and only of those goes right there. And then we start stacking this stuff. This is one of those fun times. Can we get up here, please? Cool. Get them done. That is a steel block. Steel block. Light. Is that a heavy? Heavy, 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 heavy. The lights, if I remember correctly, those are where the plugins go for the power and the back of it. 2 more steel blocks, and that should be some sheet metal, I think. What is that? I don't think there's anything right there, actually. So this and this. Light engineering blocks, scaffolding. Scaffolding, scaffolding, and the last of the light engineering blocks. And I think that should be everybody. Yes, it is. Okay, and then we take our lovely little hammer and whack it on the face of it. Right there. Hottest topic. Sweet. Close this out, get it out of our lives. So then we can put these up here for now. Those can just live in there. And again, we'll worry about that mess later. So the power that we're currently removing is coming from that block right there. So I think what I'm probably going to do here is that has to go in the front. I'm going to end up having to make another power pole come over here. So I think for right now, in order to maintain our safety, we will place the battery. Once I set a few things up, is going to require a little bit of scaffolding and stuff. But let's go ahead and do this. So input, output, nothing. And I think the other side is no connection. Good. And then you can go in that wall up there. And then I need all of my cool boxes. Now, this is going to get run with HV cabling. But we're only going to need so much cabling to run with this. So let's see. Where is our stuff? HV wire connector, relays, and the HV wire that we currently own at this point. And we're going to kind of just very carefully run it so it's out of our way right now. I'm going to rebuild this top section as it is, so it's going to be just fine. So we'll put one of those up there. And I'm going to put one of these on here because that's all it should ever need. 4,000 RF ticks, plenty. Click, click, connector here, go there. Now again, I'm using that capacitor technically as a regulator, but at this point we can go in and out at whatever speed that connector is capable of doing, or whatever that capacitor is doing. So I think we might be able to reach this out here actually. Yes, yes, sweet. And linking down. Where are my power poles? Power poles, I think, are in this box, wherever the other box is. So what did I do with them? Where did I hide those? Are they in my other inventory? Not that button, but this button. There's that. Oh, I'm out of the things. Crap. I thought I made a whole bunch of those. No, what are those called? Bottoms, things. Give me a bunch of these. Okay, cool. And then we can rebuild this wire from here to there. So I need you to go. Well, I guess we can do that. That'll work fine. That's okay. I forget these are the high voltage ones. They can go quite a long distance. So that should be charging that capacitor up. And that should also be getting the arc furnace up full of power. I was going to hook it up to here, but whatever. I'm going to clean a lot of this up as we go. So we should be running. We didn't pop. Yes, it popped it. I don't understand why it's doing that. Quit. That should not be able to carry that much juice, period. These things are only capable of 4,000 RF a tick, in or out. No, didn't pop. Okay, whatever. Well, let's go upstairs. And actually, while we're at it, what we were doing down here, I think in between, is I was making a bunch of electrum. So let's put that away, and I'm going to go ahead and make some more electrum, because we need some more electrum. So we're going to do about that. Let's see. You there. Oh, I grabbed the wrong one. That's aluminum. I want one of those. And then we can put that back. And let's go upstairs and make a little bit of stuff. So that's the whole point of making one of these things, is because you can get rid of using that furnace over there for one of the many reasons. And two, this thing will make steel considerably faster than the other method will. So that should work. And if I do this, it'll really go to town. And there goes all of our power. But there we go. Now we can make electrum very quickly, or we can make some of these other things very quickly, and this will allow us to be able to do some very cool stuff. So, all right, guys, I think for now we're going to call it. This is going to be plenty long enough and fun to cut up and late as it is. So I will see you guys later. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.